Alright, so yeah, today will just be a day for uploads. Essentially, just a day in the life. But I'm not gonna do too much because I don't have a setup. I think the GoPros have a thing that you can wrap around your head, and but I can't afford that. I can't afford anything I have right now. These glasses, I found them while I was cleaning the house. This cap was a gift from a very kind individual. Hey, baby! Oh, look at this. It's a doggy. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't ask permission.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see if we can see it. Look at that beautiful doggy. Look at that. No, don't go into the street. No.
No, she's trying to go.
Oh, okay. Oh, my neighbor was playing with her doggy. Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful baby. Hi, baby. I can't record that because she's watching. Oh my goodness. That's your daughter or son?
That's my daughter.
You're your daughter? Wow. She's so cute. How old is she? She's a little baby.
She's gonna be 8 months on Christmas.
8 months? My friend just had a child, I think, last week or the week before. Oh my goodness, I forget now the exact date. I have it on my thing. But when they're that little, you could tell she was just, yeah, she's 8 months just because she's already like arching her back and like holding her own weight.
She's trying to figure out how to crawl.
Oh, okay.
She's trying to learn how to do it. She hasn't figured it out yet.
Well, you know what? Put that little thing on the dog, and it'll give her an incentive.
Yeah.
Because then she'll want to like try to follow the thing. But that'll keep her busy, though. That it keeps me busy. Heaven knows,
Yeah,
I'm on it like.
Trying my best.
Yeah. I know. Especially like whenever if I get sick or depressed or whatever, I'll just lay down on the couch and then I'm on YouTube. I could be on YouTube. Is usually what I do. That's what I'm actually doing right now because I'm usually I'm by myself and I get lonely or whatever. But my videos are essentially of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like almost like a documentary film of ordinariness, if that makes any sense. But she's adorable. What's her name? Morgan?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's my friend who just named his son. I think that's his nephew's name. If not, his brother-in-law's name. I gotta double check. That's a beautiful name. All right, well, you have a great day. Take care. Oh, your dog's over there. Oh, you got. That was pretty cool. Human interaction. I don't get that too often. But little baby, I'll say his name, Morgan. I didn't show his, and mommy's with him. So you do not get in between a child and their mother. Doesn't matter what kind of animal or human being it is. I don't know how all animals are. Some animals, the offsprings, there should be at least one type of species where the offspring, as soon as it's born, it goes away. There has to be. The animal kingdom is way too diverse to have just one type, just mammals or whatever. You have all types of species. For heaven's sakes, we have this micrograde, what are they called? Microgrades or whatever. Those little animals that, if you watch that channel, Brew, BREW, it's a cartoon channel, which is kind of like, I kind of wanted to take a class because my doctor, she's been telling me, sign up for at least one course, and I decided that I feel like for me right now, it would be best, instead of taking an accredited course out of college, she was saying to do an online course, which I have. I tried, and let's just say, I think at that time, the topic, the subject that I picked, I was not ready for it. I think it was astrology, but I did not realize how much math was involved. But I did eventually just read the book the textbook that I bought, and those textbooks are expensive. But I'll tell you one thing, they are kind of worth it, at least used, because once you read them, oh my goodness, you learn and you see so many things that essentially you're going to eventually see on YouTube. But I feel like you pick it up better when you read it. Like for instance, just off the top of my head, a couple of things I picked up off that book was I think it's called spectrometry or light spectrometry, or the way they measure light and how they can tell which elements are present or from the light from distant stars, like based on like on a graph that will uh, have dips, kind of like a bar graph or whatever. And it like, if, like, let's say that's the only way we were able to tell if an exoplanet is habitable as of right now. I don't know if the JWT has made any changes to that. I would think not. I don't think we're that far advanced yet. I do think, though, that there may be advances that they do not make public because of the fear that it can be weaponized. Because that's the problem. The more knowledge that we gain, is the higher the chances we are of annihilating our species. Unfortunately, because for instance, I think fusion is one of the things that they're working on right now. How can you weaponize fusion? Well, let me think for a moment. All right. So essentially, fusion, you're creating energy. Anything that creates energy can be used to destroy something. Wow, these really do cancel noise. Again, these were a gift. I can't afford these things. I can't afford. I have trouble just keeping up, taking care of my daughter, and I shouldn't even be saying these things because heaven knows I have Department of Children and Families knocking at my door. But you know what? I'm not worried about it because I love her. She knows I love her, and I tried to tell her. I did tell her once, how the importance of getting a formal education, and if not, that she's going to end up like me and mommy, and she got upset. And it made me realize that one should never think less of themselves, or be so like down on themselves to think that it is not possible to either change or be successful. Because first and foremost, success is really subjective. Some people will say you're successful because to me, all right, since it's subjective, it could be, I could just name a list of everything, but to me, success is being in a relationship where essentially you guys are in love and things are well, or if not, you guys are both trying to make it well, because being in a relationship is not easy. It takes a lot of work. Having good health, that's obvious, because without health you can't enjoy anything. You could be a billionaire, but if you're stuck every day 4 p.m. you got to go get dialysis for every other day, you're not going to be able to enjoy much. I mean, yeah, you could probably have your own personal person to give you that, but you're still stuck to that regimen. You don't have the freedom. So there's a lot of things that, or if you have like for me, for instance, I suffer mental illness, so I have to take medication every day. But that's just life. Life is not always, not everybody's dealt a full house. Some people are just dealt at the most a pair of aces. And the concept that they said, I forget which comedian said this, talking about how Barack Obama was when in his studies he was he was above average. He did excellent. Let's just say that's what they consider it. Like a 4.0. But his predecessor, he was an average student. A C student. But Obama got criticized a lot because of racism, which is something that exists in this world. We try to pretend like it doesn't, but it really does. Whether you like it or not. You put a group of students in a class and you separate them by race, I guarantee you that they will connect even more than if they were separated randomly. Only because of the fact that race is something it's inside of us. It just defines who we are. But that's what makes America so beautiful, because America is a country that is the melting pot of the world. There is no other place on earth that can duplicate or that can say that, because every other part of this world, the majority of the people that live there, except for maybe like Australia, but even in Australia, the indigenous are treated. Australia, I don't even want to get into it. Their economy is strong, but I would never ever, just based on one thing that I've seen. Now, if I can see something else to prove me otherwise, then I will change my mind, because what I saw could have been misinformation. But the way that they treat their indigenous people, and the fact that most Aussies, they are like, they don't even realize that they weren't they weren't the first ones there. But I don't know if it's hereditary, because allegedly, just like Brazil, Australia was supposed to be what is it called? A penal. There's a word for it, but a penal colony. That's that's the word I'm trying to look for. Australia was supposed to be a penal colony. So essentially, anytime you have a penal system, the people, and you make senseless laws, like we have here in the States, the population of people who commit offensive crimes will outgrow just the general population. And that's what we had here because of, again, racism. The administrations, prior administrations, they were all of British descent, or if not British, of some type of European descent. I'm not sure if Franklin was French. I do know, I think he had a French citizenship, and he's very popular over there. He wasn't a president though, so don't get that confused. But yeah, the French had a lot to do with this country's independence, because they wanted, obviously, they didn't want Britain, who's their neighbor right across the aisle, to get stronger and become a nation that they now have to face. If they were to have, like, let's say, a theoretical war, they would have. This is like that channel, Alternate Theory Hub. If they would have had a war, then France would have been hit on two different fronts. They would have been hit from the island itself, and then let's say this is still Britain, right? In this alternate universe. Essentially, if it's still Britain would have had to fight a lot of wars. They would have had to have been very well endowed, and by that, I don't mean by the size of their penis. I mean by the wealth of their nation. Because wars cost money. They cost a lot of money, especially nowadays. But unfortunately, I hate to say this, one of the things that we do gain from war is advancements. As a species, we also advance from war. For instance, right now, because of war, we have, let's say, half of the energy that's provided to us. And here in the States, it's disgusting how much energy we use. We're, like I said, we're a car-centered society. We have more roads than we do sidewalks. We cost of living. I don't live in the country. I live in a major metropolitan area, which might be another reason why I'm stuck living with mom and dad. But unless you meet like a millionaire, like my buddy just did. He just met a millionaire, so now he has a job where the guy who offered him the job. I like that because I like hands-on millionaires. You know, the ones that actually work at their place of employment, because that is actual success. Because instead of just having your money make money for you, you're actually making something. Success can be as simple as making an apple pie that tastes good and comes out good, and the crust is nice and flaky, and the flavor is rich, the sugar is just the right amount. That's success right there. Being able to make a great pie and being able to do it more than once. In other words, not just that one single time. You can do it over and over again, because then you can have a bakery. And then, you know, as long as you have, for the most part, optimism. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me with this, but you gotta, well, let's just try to cover as much ground as possible. That's the delivery truck. Let's try to cover as much ground as possible. You either have an optimistic point of view, or you have to have faith in a loving creator whom protects you, and you truly believe grants you prosperity and grants you safety and everything that may cause you to have fear in your life. Because fear, just the thought alone, can cause things like illnesses, can cause things like bad relationships. See what I mean by car center? All those sounds that you may or may not hear, those are just vehicles just driving back and forth. All I see right now, I did see one human being. He was also on four wheels. There are human beings in the car. If I look hard enough, I can see them. But the one human being I saw, he was driving around like a little golf cart. He was working for the company that handles this property that sits right next to this plaza, which I'm going to. I'm doing my better half. I'm doing her a favor. I'm getting her some drugs, legal ones, of course. That's the one thing that I'm not going to share on this channel if I do any illegal activity, because it's not illegal unless you get caught, number one. And number two, there's a lot of things that are illegal that they don't pursue because they realize it's not worth their time. It's non-violent, and I think they want to see how things play out. IMO, the powers that be, because that you have to kind of learn. It's like you have a petri dish, and you put some type of life form in it. You let it grow, and then you can learn from it. You learn its behavior, how it interacts, how it reproduces. So, same thing with society. You know, you place laws into place. Eventually, truths come out. You know, things that used to be conspiracy come out, and you realize they're not conspiracies anymore. Oh, and by the way, not only was this a gift, was this an item I found while cleaning, and was this a gift, but the very shirt that I'm wearing, I did not pay cash for it, and I didn't steal it either. I used Coca-Cola reward points for it. So every time here in the States you drink a bottle of Coke, whether, as long as it's got a little cap on it, or if it's like a cans, the code will be printed on the bottom. They don't do it anymore. They still do it, but now it's only like donations. Anyways, I'm here at the place. I'm gonna stop recording because I'm gonna walk into an establishment. I don't have permission. And anyways, when you see those videos on YouTube, they always get permission ahead of time. They have production teams. They set up. That's essentially what a production manager does. They have to go to places. They have to scout everything out. They have to make sure that everything's legal. All the exit, all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, or whatever. That way, when they shoot, essentially they're not violating or breaking any laws. And there's a lot of other things out there. That's why I love film. But again, the quality of my film is not all out there. But I did see 26 subscribers. Thank you so much. When I reach 30, I think I'm gonna do something special because I had mentioned 30 people in my previous video. That when you have 30 people, like let's say you're going to church, you can essentially talk to, discuss your problem if you want to, someone you can confide in, and more than likely, you're gonna find someone that will have suffered through the same problem that you did. That's why, just like lawyers, psychology is a profession that is doubtable. And eventually, I'm gonna put down the description below the video. Humans need not apply, because it's an older video. I like to watch new videos. This one's an older video, but in no way, shape, or form has it aged in any way that it has not upheld its factual matter. It's still as true today as it was when CPG Gray published it approximately like 8 years ago, let's just say. All right, I'm walking into the store. BTW, it is nicotine. All right, bye. Okay, I just walked out of the store. Yeah, there's another thing that, blocking the rear camera. I'm not shooting with the front one. I want to be able to see my face. I guess you could say it keeps me company, because I have myself I can talk to without going crazy, right? And everybody eventually starts talking to themselves, so I'll just start right now. I mean, I used to look younger, but then I suffered a couple battle scars. Missing my lateral inside cyst. I got this scar right here, and yeah, so whatever. It's because of choices that I made. But yeah, so part of a capitalistic environment is entrapment. And by entrapment, I don't mean like how the police get you to commit a crime, but I mean like literally trap you in so that you are dependent on everything that exists, because that's how you develop potential growth. Like a nation's GDP is determined by, I guess isn't that what it is? Growth domestic. It's gross, total domestic product. But that's measured by the growth in numbers, by the amount that a nation will be able to have movement. Just like if you look at the word busy, and then you take off the Y, you add an I, and then an N, and then an E with 2 S's. And that's all essentially a business is. Something that keeps you busy. That's why I wanted to apply to a job. One, because I mean business. therefore I have to look for something that's close by. And there is one location that I left that I did not apply to, so maybe I'll go there today. I really wanted to work for this other company because but I think the only way I'll be able to do that is through the what I call the girlfriend effect. When you're a man, men have to chase women for a reason, unless they are, even if a man is well endowed, they can still, they still have to be like a womanizer to get women. You don't have to be well endowed to be. And when I mean well endowed, again, I don't mean penis size. I mean, like the skeletal muscle. You don't have to be well endowed to get women. All you have to do is just be a womanizer. And there's certain ways to do that, but essentially all you're doing is you're looking for the best, in my opinion, the best type of womanizer is someone who can get a woman who is, who is independent, who is confident, and who is not only are you taking advantage, but she is also taking advantage of you just as much. That is what I consider a real womanizer, because those women are the ones that are, I should not be saying this because actually my better half says she's not going to watch my videos anymore, so I could say it. Yeah, those women are the ones that, oh gosh, no, I'm not going to smoke. I don't like smoking unless I'm drinking coffee. Smoking is disgusting. I have to tell my daughter if I ever caught her smoking before she's 21, I'd punch her. I don't know if I could do that anymore, because after what happened today, putting an age limit, you know what? I am going to say it does make very good sense, because when you're young, you are, I don't think you have, like I said earlier, actually, age limits are stupid. You know why? Because even when people are 18, they can still essentially be free souls. They can be just wandering on earth, kind of like myself. I always used to say, oh, I'm a free soul, or this, that, whatever, and that didn't bring me much, didn't bring me much positive energy, I'll put it that way. So that's why it's very true. You have to satisfy the part of your psyche, or the part of your mind that helps you identify whom you are, because then that will also help you identify what you believe in. And then when you identify what you believe in, that will help identify what you stand for. That will help identify your behavior, your habits, all the things that make you essentially a human that can either be type A or type B, just like we have the different blood types. The problem is that it's very hard to explain. I know, or I've heard, I gotta start going back to church, that there's no gray area. You can't serve two masters at one time, which essentially that is like saying you can't believe in God, serve and worship God, and be a human at the same time. It's impossible, because being a human, you are trapped within your skin. So therefore, you have no choice but to serve yourself, because if you don't do that, you will not survive. There are certain things you have to do. You have to you have to get shelter. The radiation that's coming down on me right now will kill me. Granted, slowly, much slower than cigarettes, but it will kill me. You have to find shelter. You have to find water and food. If I go 3 or 4 days without water, I'll die. And then that's it. I'm done and over with. Hello. I was blocking them from parking their car. At least I got to see a human being. And what was the third item? Clothing, because since we, ever since, according to the book of Genesis, since they bit into the fruit, which back then everything was referred to as apples. That's why they call it an apple. And it wasn't even that long ago. This was fairly recent. This was up to like maybe the 18th century, 17th century. They still didn't have a lot of names for a lot of different types of fruits. Everything was just an apple. But nonetheless, yeah. So I don't know if that makes sense, what I just said to you guys or not. You have to serve two masters. You don't have an option. Now, if there's anybody out there who's a pastor or who studies, what is it called, theology? I forget the term for it. Maybe leave a comment. I'll double check my emails. I've been checking them for what now? I forget what I've been checking them for. I was gonna apply for a job, but I was gonna send a CV this time because I tried all different types of methods to get this job that I want, because one is a good place to work for because you're dealing with people, and I like talking to people for the most part, especially when you're prepared. If you're just talking to someone at a random conversation, sometimes it's difficult, but some people are good at it. I'm not that good at it, as you can see. When I talked to that person in the video, I was a little bit awkward. I didn't even know, there are certain things that, as long as you're observant, you can see, but, once who you are starts coming out, which essentially, maybe that's what I'm trying to accomplish by recording myself for so long and making these uploads that are senseless and make no sense, and nobody's going to watch because they are not entertaining at all. It's just hearing somebody speak. I suppose there might be a demographic of people that just want to hear somebody talk. Who knows? 8 billion people in the world, there's definitely got to be at least, even if it's 0.01, that's too much. 0.001% of 8 billion. How many is that? Way more than 30. But anyways, yeah, maybe some people just want to hear people talk and talk about their thoughts and just, see what life is like in other places. I usually watch stupid stuff. I do try to watch educational stuff because everybody, in my opinion, most people like to have their mind blown, whether they realize it or not. And what I mean by that is, and learning. Oh, someone jogging. That's awesome. Exercise is good for you. And what I mean by that is, when you learn something new that you didn't know before, and it changes your outlook on things, all of a sudden you're a new person. You changed, like literally physically, because learning requires the neurons in your brain to interact with one another so that you can store information in them. So at a neurological level, which is still physiology, you will change physically when you learn something new. So having your mind blown doesn't just mean that you learn something new, so wow, it's a new idea. No, you literally changed physically. Whether it be even at a quantum level. Let me take these off. I want to put these up for at least maybe like $40 because I need the monies. I have I'm in between jobs, and like I said, I try to keep myself busy. I'm gonna do right now something that Pops has been asking me to do. I'm gonna surprise him because I think he's I don't know. I think it'll make him happy. I'll just say that. But yeah, as of late, I know that mom and dad. I'm gonna put them back on. I'd rather just have them on my face than have to carry them in my hands. As of late, mom and dad had, I don't know. It's rough. Life is rough. That's why especially during the holidays. Holidays are the worst. And it's been in cultures where people strive to be perfect, like Japan, for instance. Those poor damn Japanese. Yeah. The when I remember I said 8 out of 10 in one of my descriptions. Yeah. The two remainders. One, super successful, wealthy, billionaire, millionaire, whatever. And then the other one is a person that hangs themselves. You know, they commit the unthinkable. And unfortunately, if from what I heard is true, Japan has one of the highest rates of suicide. And I think the reason for that is because it's overstress. I'm getting a damn phone call. I'm going to decline it because that's too much. You know, when you live with someone, you literally get to see them, and you know, you interact with them all day long. Is it necessary to constantly be on the phone and, you know, keep updated on every single thing? No, it's unhealthy actually. And I remember that, you know, for couples to be healthy, it's actually good for them to have a certain amount of time apart. Another thing that's unhealthy is something that I told. I'm not going to get into it because now I'm getting into private lives. But, and as I said, I'm not going to do that in the videos. But yeah, I'm almost done walking back. Well, this has been 15 minutes. Yeah, I'll upload this because what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this, and I think by the 18th, I'm going to stop. After Argentina's declared the world champion. Watch, Morocco's gonna win the World Cup. I'm gonna take a break because one, I have no ideas. No one's feeding any to me. People have criticized me saying that I rant, but then when I tell them what should I do, they don't tell me a damn thing. So I have no ideas. I get criticized for not having ideas, but yet when I ask for help, you know, give me an idea, people are like dumbfounded. You know, it's like WTF. I don't really have much of a talent as far as entertaining goes, except for being able to speak and communicate, which that's another thing. I should make a video in Spanish because essentially, according to whom you speak with, there's more Spanish-speaking people in the world. Some people will say there's more Spanish-speaking people in the world, and then some people will say there's more English-speaking people in the world. And I say, who the F knows? Who really keeps track of that? But yeah, I don't practice it anymore. I used to practice it when I worked, but I was not in a good place at that time. I wasn't in recovery. So it's the stress. It's the stress that eventually, in my opinion, makes people turn to things that they would otherwise not do. You know, that could be unhealthy habits. For instance, you have a stressful job, right? That's very demanding, or you yourself make it stressful. You know, because you want to show your worth. You want to show what you're capable of, and then after that, you start creating a habit out of excelling at what you do, and therefore doing as much as you can. And then the more and more that you keep doing, the more that what's the word I was gonna look for? The more that hello. The more and more that you keep doing, the more that you're going to like have too much to bear. Too much. You're gonna have too much to bear on top of your shoulders. Therefore, you're gonna look for something else. Like for instance, like in the military or the armed services, anything, any of those things, you sign away your life just about, because once you apply to serve your country, they can literally, if they want to inject you with AIDS just to see, oh, what does AIDS do to someone who's 26 and 364 days old and is of half Caucasian and half Hawaiian and was born in the state of Mississippi. Make up some random question, and then they'll, and they've done so, like, there's a lot of dark history that, I don't want to talk about because it's very depressing. And unfortunately, like I said, we because of the bad things that we do, as bad as they are, there's always something that can be learned from them. But that's just something that troubles me. Why must we have to suffer? Why must we have to, kill one another, or, do all these acts of atrocity in order to be able to grow maybe intellectually, or grow as a population, or I don't know, grow as an idea? I have no idea. The whole thing with ideology and especially nowadays when you turn on the TV, OMG. I think that's why I watch YouTube. And then I think that's also another reason why now when I watch the videos, half of them I'll watch like a minute or two, and I just can't get into them anymore. I think I need to just turn off, I need to cut the current. I need to cut the light, so to speak, because I'm starting to realize that once one part of your body is off sync, your whole body is off sync. So you have to be one with nature, one with the universe, yada yada yada, in order to be truly content, in order to be truly happy. Maybe that's what success is. Realizing that you have what you need, the feeling of gratitude, of knowing it, and, knowing that the spirit, which is love, not just flows through you, but you feel it. I guess that would be the best answer to the question of what is success. All right, bye people. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, or not. If you don't, try to learn something from it.